I'm not sure what to say. I'm feeling upset. I think I'm feeling some anger, and I think I need a minute to process this. And I don't feel safe talking about it yet with the feelings I'm feeling. So I will reach back out to you soon, and we will have this conversation again. Hey, I know it's been a while, and this is kind of uncomfortable. I got a phone call from a past partner who let me know that he got a phone call from a partner that tested positive for chlamydia. And so I went and got tested, and I'm positive. So I know it's been a minute, and this is kind of awkward and a weird conversation to have, but yeah, you should probably go get tested. Welcome back to Pretty Uncomfortable. I'm Tara V, and really, I did just test positive for chlamydia this week, and that is so fucking uncomfortable to say. It is uncomfortable. It has shaken up my life these past few days, and it quickly made me realize I had to do this episode. Like, what a fucking comeback. I haven't recorded in like a month because life has been stupid. And yeah, I got a phone call. It basically went just like that intro. Hey, what's up? I got a call from a girl I slept with. She tested positive for chlamydia, so we should probably go get tested and see if we need to go on meds. And so I went and got tested. And I was sure that I was negative because I had no symptoms, which is crazy because I already know this about chlamydia, that most people don't have symptoms. But I was sure I didn't have symptoms. So I was like, I'm just going to go get tested. Just, peace of mind. I am with a new partner. So it was like, I'm just going to get tested. And I checked my results Wednesday morning, and I wanted to throw up because they were positive. And I have a new partner that is an past partner that is a very complicated relationship. And suddenly I was faced with having to tell him and hope that he would believe me that I have not been with anybody but him since I've been with him, which can be a very difficult conversation if people don't understand STIs, which most people don't. And he did not either. And so my life has been turned upside down, and I have been made to feel not so great about myself. And it just made me realize that this is a very important conversation to have. And strangely enough, while I sit on the internet and I have openly discussed having herpes over and over and over again, this is so fucking uncomfortable for me. It is so uncomfortable for me to say, hi, I tested positive for chlamydia. Why? I don't know. But it's a weird feeling. And so it made me realize the importance of this episode. I wanted to share this experience with you in real time as I am going through it, just to show you the different angles of a positive test result for an STI and what that can look like from a lot of different viewpoints. It has stirred up a lot for me, and I think it is important to explore that and discuss that further because it's not discussed often. And I want to make sure people understand that when they go through something like this, whether they are the one that has just read a test result that says positive, or maybe they're a partner that is being told, like, hey, I just tested positive and you should probably go get tested as well. I want to explore those different angles, and I want to make sure people understand it is okay to feel all the fucking feels, the good ones, the bad ones, the strong, like this isn't a big deal, to like, oh my God, my life is over. You can feel that all at once. And I think I want to explore kind of the contrast, the dichotomy of, I know for myself, being this person that kind of advocates for, sexual health and being open about it and being okay and kind of crushing stigmas and being open about my herpes status. I have spent the last 4 days judging myself, feeling like a dirty slut, honestly, which is insane because if a friend came to me and told me that they tested positive, I would be like, it's the facts of life, man. That's what happens. It's the risk, right? It's not a big deal. Take your antibiotics and it's done. Calm down, not a big deal. That is exactly what I would tell a friend, is what I would tell you. But when you're sitting in it, it's harder to see that sometimes. And so I want to make sure anybody out there that is going through this or might go through this in the future understands it is okay to feel like a piece of shit and also know that you're not a piece of shit. It's okay. Before we dive in, we're just going to do a very quick educational segment on chlamydia. What the fuck is it? Well, number one, it's not really a big deal. Easier said than believed when you're sitting here dealing with the repercussions of it. It's really not a big deal. It is a bacterial infection that happens from having sex. You can get it from oral sex, vaginal sex, anal sex. You can get it in all of those places. You get a penis, you get a vagina, you get a butthole, you got a mouth. You can get chlamydia. You get tested for it, you're positive, you take some antibiotics, and then it clears up the infection. It really is very kind of like a silent infection. Very few people know that they have symptoms. Very few partners seem to believe that. So it can be hard for a partner receiving the news that their partner didn't know they had it. Like, what do you mean you're positive and you didn't know? What do you mean you didn't have any symptoms? That sounds ridiculous. Which is essentially the conversation that I faced with sort of being questioned on that. But if you read up on it, it's very common to have no symptoms. Left untreated, it can really wreak havoc on a female's reproductive system. But otherwise, it really is just kind of like a bacterial infection, and it fucking happens because we make the choice to have unprotected sex. It can happen. Risk versus reward. That's what chlamydia is. Now, what do we do when we find out we have it? Or what do we do when our partner comes to us and says, oh, guess what? I have news. Where do we go from here? So I'm going to reiterate that it is okay to feel all the feels, no matter what side of the conversation you are on. If you are finding out that you're positive, if you are finding out that your partner is positive, no matter what side of this conversation you're on, it is okay for any of the feelings that you're feeling. I do think it is very important to remember communication is key. Words have immense fucking power. As I am sitting in the rubble of words being used not well with my disclosure, just remember that words are very powerful and they can hurt really bad. So choose your reactions wisely. Think before you speak, but know it is okay to be freaked the fuck out. So let's start with if you're the patient and you get your results and you find out that you're positive. Like, now what? How do you feel? You feel a lot of things. I know for myself personally, I am very educated on sexual health and on STIs. I kind of had not much of a choice when I found out that I had herpes. I kind of dove into understanding things more, and it really taught me how not big of a deal a lot of these things are, as well as taking responsibility for our own choices, right? Like, if you're going to choose to have unprotected sex, there are consequences. And so you own it and you deal with it, right? However, still getting the news is very hard. And when I saw the positive results on my computer screen, my stomach dropped. I went cold. I wanted to throw up. I started crying, massive anxiety, and I just panicked. And I wasn't so much freaked out that I had it because I knew, like, this is very simple. It's very easy. I'm going to get some medication and it's going to be gone. But I have to notify someone and I am scared and I don't know how it's going to go. I have been reconnecting with a past partner, and it has been a very complicated relationship that we have had. And our reconnection has been scary for me. And I've been trying to do everything right. And the moment he showed up at my door, like I cut off all communication with everybody else that I had been casually seeing. And I had no more interactions with them. And suddenly I thought, I have to tell this man this thing. And is he going to believe me? Have I just lost him while just getting him back? And I'm going to lose him over such a fucking stupid thing and something from before. So I was really shaken up with the news. And then even being educated and understanding things, there is still stigma, right? There is still stigma. And so it was like, all right, I have an STI. I'm not feeling great about myself. And I started feeling shame and really sitting in a lot of self-judgment. And again, if a friend came to me, I would never look at my friend and be like, well, of course you got this. You're a slut. Of course you got this. You're just a dirty little whore and you just sleep around and you're so irresponsible. Like, what did you think? I would never fucking think that in a minute. Like, never. And yet that was my immediate reaction to myself. And being very, very honest, I'm still sitting in that and I'm still questioning myself and judging my actions and feeling really bad about myself and feeling a lot of shame, even though logically, I know this isn't a big deal. I know it's a basic fucking bacterial infection. I know it is a consequence of my actions of having unprotected sex. I know it is something that will be cleared up very quickly. And I'm good. And I'm solid. And I never had one symptom to start with. I didn't suffer anything physically from this. Emotionally, I've been destroyed. And so just know you're going to go through all of that. And that's okay. It's okay. Just feel it, let it out, cry, be angry, feel it all. And then you got to have the conversations. How do you even tell somebody? How do you tell them? Depends on the person. A casual relationship versus a committed relationship might have two very different communication styles. I did notify somebody that I had a more casual relationship with previously that kind of overlapped that timeline. So I notified him as a precaution. And should I have called him? Maybe. Did I? No. I sent him a text message and I said, hey, I'm really sorry to send a message like this. However, I got a call from a past partner who got a call. We tested positive. You might want to go ahead and get tested just in case. Again, the timelines kind of crossed. So you might want to just cover your bases and get tested. It was fine. He texted back like, thanks for letting me know. I just got tested earlier this month. I think I'm solid, but appreciate you letting me know. Great. The guy that told me, he did try calling me. I wasn't available. So he texted me and was like, hey, I just wanted to let you know, I got a call. She's positive. We should probably go get tested. Fucking simple. But then I had to tell my partner and it didn't go well. And I think this is where I want to have a conversation for the partners that are receiving this news. And I want to make it very, very clear that I understand a lot of people are not educated on STIs. And so I give a lot of grace for that, probably more than I should. But I give a lot of grace for that because we as a whole were not educated well on these things. And a lot of the education was fear-based, if we got any at all. So I do hold a lot of grace. And so I can understand a partner being taken aback by this news and being shook up by it and being angry and even sitting in some disbelief of like, I don't know if I believe that you didn't have symptoms or how could you have had this for so long and not know? I don't believe that you haven't been with somebody else. I can actually understand that. It hurts to not be believed, but I can understand that thought process, and I give a lot of grace to that. What I don't agree with is when it is then handled in a situation to make your partner feel bad and judged. There is a way to be upset and angry without hurting the other person, and it is as simple as saying, I'm not sure what to say. I'm feeling upset. I think I'm feeling some anger, and I think I need a minute to process this. and I don't feel comfortable talking right now, but give me some time. I don't know how much time I need, maybe a day or two, it might be a week. I really want to sit on this information, and I don't feel safe talking about it yet with the feelings I'm feeling. So I will reach back out to you soon and we will have this conversation again. Guys, it's that simple. And it's that easy. You could be raging mad inside and simply say, I'm really upset right now. I don't know how to process this. I need a minute. I will return. And I wish I got that. And I didn't. And so I think that's why I wanted to come do this episode, just to stress. Like, communication is key. I'm going to change the name of this fucking podcast to just like communication. That's it, just communication, because it's all I stress around here. But like, fuck me, guys. Communicate properly, communicate maturely. I was left sobbing after I hung up the phone. I was made to feel like I was bad. It was implied that he felt as if I was a mistake for him. And he essentially said that he didn't know if he would ever speak to me again. And in that moment, I was just so hurt. I was terrified to talk to him about it. I was so fucking scared to talk to him about it. And I did everything I could to make it easier. I even went online and I ordered the treatment for him. I picked it up that afternoon. I got the medication for you. So if you don't want to go and get it tested, if you are uncomfortable doing that, I have the treatment for you. It is 2 pills. That's all you have to do is take them. I know you're traveling tomorrow. I know there's a lot of inconveniences here. So if you want me to bring you the medication, I will. If you don't even want to speak to me, that's okay. But I've got the medication for you. I'm trying to make this as easy as possible for you. And instead, I was left to feel like a very bad and dirty person. And it was a stab in the heart. And that was almost 4 days ago. And I haven't heard from him. And this is somebody that I have loved with my entire heart. But you guys, you don't have to handle situations like that. No matter how tough or scary or angry or anything, like, it is as simple as saying, I don't know what to say right now, and I need to step away, and I will be back because this warrants a conversation. Maybe if you're in a very casual relationship, that is not necessary. Like, fuck, I don't know what to say. I'm weirded out. Peace out. If you are in a relationship with somebody, have respect. It's not that hard. And here's something really important to remember. No matter how mad you want to get at your partner, you chose to crawl into bed as well. You chose to have unprotected sex as well. You chose not to have open conversations about sexual health. And what are your partners doing about it? Are you testing regularly? When was your last partner? How many partners do you have? If you are not having all of these conversations, you don't have much room to be an asshole here, right? Like, there is not that much room. And even if you are having those conversations, it is still a risk factor. It is still something that we are choosing to take a risk for when we have unprotected sex. And so there are 2 parties here, sometimes 3, sometimes 4, depending on what you do. Like, there's at least 2 parties here that made this decision. It is not just one person. And remember that. And just treat each other with respect when dealing with these things. For me, I got off the phone still sitting there going like, okay, I'm still sitting here coping with the fact that I too just received this news that I tested positive, and I have this partner that I love, but was never once like, are you okay, Tara? Like, how are you feeling with all of this? It was just like, I have nothing to say to you. I have nothing to say. And that's how it ended. And I don't know if we're ever going to speak again. And so I tell this story not to freak you out if you do end up with a positive result and that you're going to be treated this way, because the past partner that notified me, he told me, he was like, I've notified everyone I needed to notify. And like, the response was 90% great. Everybody had a pretty good response to it. When he told me, I was like, okay, well, that sucks, but what are you going to do? I'll go get tested. Not a big deal. A lot of people do respond positively. So I'm not telling this story as a way of like this is how it's always going to go, because this isn't how it should ever go. But I think I just want to make sure you understand it's okay to feel ick about it on both ends of the spectrum. You can feel weirded out and angry at your partner if they come to you and tell you that they've tested positive. That is fucking okay. I am not telling you have to accept it with rainbows and sparkles and unicorns and be like, fuck yeah, awesome. Okay, cool. I'm not freaked out, because you probably are freaked out. That's fine. That's fine. Be freaked out. I am not telling you not to be. I am simply telling you, understand the response that you use. Understand that you are part of this as well. And it takes two to tango. It's as simple as that. There's two of us here. And so you cannot put all the responsibility on your partner. Now, it is a different story if there's cheating involved or anything like that. Like, I'm not excusing any of that. But for the most part, it's not how this shit happens. And I want to tell you something about chlamydia that is so fucking important. It can sit in your system for fucking a really long time without you ever knowing. I have a friend that had it for almost 2 years and she didn't know. And it's a long story how we know that she had it for that long, but we know exactly where she got it. Like, it's a long story. She had it for 2 years and never knew. So understand that even when your partner comes to you and you've been with them for months or even a fucking year, it does not mean that they cheated on you. Yeah, so that's my week and how it's been going. And I've been dealing with a lot of conflicting feelings. Like I said, there's been this really bizarre sitting in, like I said, this dichotomy of I spend time online advocating, positivity with this, and that it's not the end of the world if you have an STI, and living with herpes has not really affected me, and it's not that bad. And that's what I present. And I have spent many nights also crying, feeling really dirty about myself and really questioning my actions and thinking like, am I a slut? Is there something wrong with me? And it's been confusing feeling those things when again, like logically I know that's not the case, but there's so many stigmas attached. And so welcome to life, I guess, right? Like contrasting feelings, and you're up and you're down and you're over here and you're over there and you don't know what to feel, and then all your feels, and then you feel empowered and then you feel weak. It's okay. We'll get through it all. And in the meantime, take care of your sexual health. Go get tested. It is not that hard to do. There are so many organizations out there. So even if you can't afford it, testing is out there. I love where I go to get tested. It is free. It is simple. It is non-judgmental. Like, I fucking love where I go. Researcher communities, there are places to go where you will not be judged. You can get all the information you need, the treatment you need, the testing, like the works. So get tested, get educated, and own your shit. Own your fucking shit and understand that these are the risks that we take. And when the consequences come, we need to face them like adults. And if we can't, then stop having sex. So anyways, welcome back to Pretty Uncomfortable. So happy you're here. I promise I won't disappear as much. I love you. Happy to see you again. I will see you hopefully next week. In the meantime, go get tested and be fucking weird. All right. Okay. Let's do a chlamydia disclosure. Because who has chlamydia? I have chlamydia. 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 I have chlamydia. Maybe that's how I should have done my disclosure. Maybe it would have gone over better. Okay, no, really, I gotta take this seriously. It's very serious. I have very serious news to share. I knew nothing about it, and so I kind of dove in. I kind of dove in. I dove in. Okay. I got this shit. This is stupid. Like, no need to be nervous. Chlamydia. This is why I can't live in an apartment, because my neighbors would hate me. Ugh, it is legit, like, uncomfortable. I'm gonna take me and my chlamydia and go now. And I'm just gonna go with my chlamydia now.